Earth's most relevant newscast. Broadcasting from Sector 17G of the Milky Way Galaxy, we present to you a program that is a strange combination of newsworthy and non-newsworthy. Funny at times and extremely non-funny at others. Ladies and gentlemen, Earthlings and Lunars, we present to you Valemount Live.
Welcome to episode 60 of Valemount Live. I'm Anne-Marie Scott.
And I'm Jody Newham.
Public outcry in Valemount.
Sledders revolt against unjust safety laws.
And really big news from around the world.
Also, an historic look at Valeshire.
Oops, we canned the Vilshire story.
Why?
Too controversial.
Oh, I can see that. Still.
Moving along.
Power from
Potatoes.
Schneider can make anything with anything.
And he'll prove it tonight.
V-Day.
V-Day?
We've been instructed not to say vagina on air.
Vagina?
Correct. We're not saying it.
What?
Vagina.
Right. Let's not say vagina on air.
Absolutely. It makes at least half the population uncomfortable.
Naturally, they're envious.
So, we've got the lowdown on V-Day.
And don't expect us to say vagina on air.
Nope, we're just not going to say it.
What?
Vagina.
On an entirely different topic.
Romancing the Robson.
Morality play or flight of fancy?
We show.
You decide.
But first, let's begin with the sordid affair that's got everyone talking.
An online forum hosted a major event here in Valemount last weekend.
But some visiting sledders got a surprise when they were stopped by local police.
Many were given tickets.
Some business owners are up in arms about the message it sends to paying guests.
Here's Vince Clark of Alpine Country Rentals.
And visiting snowmobiler Peter Gaudry of Edmonton.
There might be a little perceptive there of, well, there comes another guy, he's got a $40,000 truck and he's got, you know, $100,000 worth of snowmobiles in the back, and you know, and now they're bitching about our police because, you know, they got a $200 ticket. Well, I don't mind getting tickets if you deserve them. Like, and we got a speeding ticket just 2 weeks ago, and I didn't mind it at all because they're doing their job.
You yourself weren't pulled over during this check this
No,
weekend.
and to be honest, I wasn't here, but I have a business that is, you know, obviously related to the snowmobile industry. And I hear about it first thing, as soon as I get back.
The roads in BC are way different than Alberta, you know, so you should have a decent trailer with decent brakes, you know, good tires on your trucks. But other than that, like, you know, if you're breaking the speed limit by 30, 40 kilometers an hour, well, you deserve a ticket. Right. But just to pull you over and then start nickel and dime you, well, your headlights aren't the right kind, or your tail lights aren't sticking over your trailer far enough, and all this other nickel and dime stuff. It's just pissing people off, and they're not going to come here and sled. And then who's it going to hurt? It's going to hurt this business. It's going to hurt the restaurant business, and them are the guys that should be sticking up for us.
Safety comes first always, so deal with the safety. I think if customers are coming from Alberta to come support the community and the valley, I think some leniency or just some information should be given out before ticketing. Are you aware of this? Are you aware of the rules in BC? Give them the heads up and say, hey, you know, here's the information. This is what you need to have, you know, dealt with before you come back to BC.
To go to Revelstoke is an extra 3 hours. And Revelstoke, 7 out of 10 days it's snowing there. You know, people will tell you the snow is way better, and maybe at some points it is. But for me, it's closer to come here. It's only a 5-hour drive. And I've been, like I said, I come in here for 20 years, so I'm getting to know Vinny really good. I know Peter at the hotel really good. I stayed there for 18 years, every trip. Stayed there all the time. And I know these areas, these mountains, like Allen and Clemina and Westridge, really good. I can sled on a day where you can't see 10 feet, so I'm comfortable. Yeah. But I don't want to be coming here and spending an extra $200-300 on ticket.
And that's the thing. It's a website forum that was put together, Snow and Mud, and it's a community all talking after the weekend on this website, and it moves around so fast through the internet world that it's not good for us. It's not good for our industry in the Valley or in Valemount. So I think it's just a poor time. Why couldn't they just do it on a regular weekend, and then the word gets out there and it's not made into such a big deal?
The business has got to sit down with the RCMP and find a happy medium and say, you guys got to do your job, make sure nobody steals stuff. And if a guy is speeding, or if a guy's trailer, the brakes don't work on his trailer, well, he deserves tickets. But all the other little nickel and dime things and the hassling are, and sure, come out to the hill, and at the end of the day when people are coming off the hill, ask them to see your registration or to see your insurance on your sled. And I don't think anybody will.
We were unable to reach police on the matter.
I wonder what a town like ours would have done in the olden days.
Well, I think we should leave that to speculation, darling. It could get ugly.
Still.
V-Day is coming to Valemount on April 8th.
Here are Donalda Beeson and Shelley Battensby.
V-Day is a global movement to bring awareness around violence against women.
I saw the Vagina monologues when I was at university in Kamloops, and I really wanted to be involved. And so last year I got to thinking that this is something that we could do here. This year Shelley was like, is that still something you want to do? Because it's, it just suited us both, and we thought we could both see it happening here.
This particular benefit performance we're doing is called A Memory, a Monologue, a Rant, and a Prayer. And it has a collection of monologues written by women and by men about their experience about violence against women. There are cries for change. There are voices of hope. There's sadness. There's triumph. It's pretty evocative stuff, but wonderfully powerful stuff too. It's fun, it's different, it's unusual, and it's a really strong message. And it's written for everyone, because this is everyone's problem.
And I think we especially chose this play instead of the Vagina monologues because it opens the door to having men involved as participants, as well as behind the scenes.
So what would that look like, Donaldo? How would men be involved?
Well, it would be really great if we could get some men out reading some monologues to show have their presence on stage, and some of the monologues are really strong male roles. It would also be nice to have men in behind the scenes and helping out with the pre-V-Day events, I suppose. I think these issues are all over the place for one, so creating awareness locally as well as part of the global movement is really important. And maybe even in smaller communities, they're less in your face and less vocalized issues, but they're still there.
We've seen a change in the numbers coming in to get help because of the awareness. They're either getting more support at the informal level in the community by neighbors and friends, or they're, the response at the emergency service level has improved. So women are getting the help that they need. They are finding safety. And that has all come about because of education and awareness. And so this is just a way of breaking down that silence.
It is sort of a taboo issue, I would say, still, that makes people uncomfortable to talk about. So the more people you have talking about it, and in such a big way, hopefully will make it more comfortable for other people that need to talk about it to be able to bring it up.
Silence in essence is a way of condoning almost. If we don't talk about it, then maybe it's not happening, or maybe it's okay that it's happening because we don't need to make a change. When we start naming it and talking about it, it makes people think, okay, wait a minute, yeah, this is not normal, this is not okay, and we have to do something. It's been the women's movement for so long, and it really is, it's a societal problem. It's not a woman's problem. And men are a huge part of a woman's life. Fathers, brothers, uncles, neighbors, friends, teachers.
So this is going to be a very comfortable experience for people who come to the night, is that right?
Probably not. It's thought-provoking. It's going to bring up emotions. It's very evocative. And I think there's going to be laughter. There may be tears. There may be anger. You can't talk about a deep, heavy topic like this without some kind of gut reaction to it. but I think it's also going to be incredibly powerful and incredibly moving. And when we push ourselves outside of our comfort zone, that's when amazing things can happen. So yeah, come. Be prepared to be a little uncomfortable, but be prepared to walk out of there saying, you know what, this is possible. This is good stuff.
If you want to get involved, contact Shelley at 566-9107.
If you want to see it, it's April 8th at the Valemount Secondary School Theatre.
I'm glad we didn't say Vagina.
Vagina?
Yeah.
Great. Time for really big news with Charles Jones at our Foreign News Service.
Here's Chucky.
Hi, I'm Charles Jones, and welcome to really big news from everywhere. This week, Sochi, they can build it, but will they come? Our on-the-ground eyewitness, Johnny Doe, is in Sochi to give us an update on the upcoming 2014 Winter Olympics. Our weekly Wiki Leaks, and Pan-Galactic Sports with DAZ Beaglebrook. But first, world rulers have adopted a plan to combat the world economic downturn. They plan to use the Elmer Fudd principle. If everyone is very, very quiet, maybe something good will turn up. But now, let's go to our eyewitness on the ground, Johnny Doe in Sochi. Over to you, Johnny. I didn't make it to Sochi. My airplane ran out of air miles in North Africa, Andrew. My bus from the airport got strafed. Thanks for the tin helmet and the earplugs. They came in really handy. While walking to town, I got a blister. When I went into the local ER, they were less than helpful. But while I was there, I found this magazine that had a list of the best and worst healthcare in the world. So, fellow travelers, if you're planning on getting blisters or shrapnel wounds, stay away from Canada. But right now, New Zealand is the best place to get hurt in the world. This is Johnny Doe, eyewitness on the ground in North Africa for VCTV. Thanks for that, Johnny. Sorry about that mix-up with the air miles, but looks like you're having fun anyways. And all I have to say to those leaders in North Africa is, if the rioting mobs cross the Red Sea, don't follow. Ricky Tiki Tembo, No Sa Rembo, Cherry Berry Uchi, Pippi Perry Pembo Leaks.com have leaked thousands of confidential emails from WikiLeaks warrior Julian Assange. Here's a sample. Albert, what up? J.O. Natasha, here's a few photos I took of you in Stockholm. J.O. Larry, call me when you have a minute. J.O. You get the picture. That's all the news, but now it's time for Intergalactic Sports with DAZ Beaglebrook. Pan-Galactic Sport scores. World Cup of Cricket. On Tuesday, Sri Lanka beat Kenya by 9 wickets. And on Monday, Canada lost to Zimbabwe by 175 runs. It was very exciting. There was competition, there was overs, there was batting, there was bowling. And that is Pan-Galactic Sports for this week.
We still got lots more Valemount, so stay close.
There's a reason we don't have commercial breaks.
Romancing the Robson is a cabaret about love.
Singing, dancing, laughing, you'll see them all.
Friday night at 7 p.m.
Be there or be square.
Last night I dressed in tails pretending I was on the town. As long as I can dream, it's hard to slowly swing her down. So please don't give a thought to me, I'm really doing fine. You can always find me here and having quite a time. Counting flowers on the wall that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do.
Every once in a while, there comes a time in the history of a place like the Robson Valley.
Aren't you talking about the Robson Valley?
Yes, the Robson Valley or any other place like the Robson Valley. When everything comes together to create a perfect atmosphere for the fantastic, the unbelievable, the never before seen, right before our very eyes.
Okay, I'm blunt. If it's never before seen, how can it happen right before our very eyes?
I'm just trying to set the stage here for something remarkable to happen.
Nothing remarkable ever happens here.
Wait a minute, this is a pretty amazing place, isn't it? Lots of remarkable things happen here.
Yeah, like what?
I got a needle in a haystack once.
The young people today have absolutely no idea.
They don't have to struggle for a thing and go around thinking they deserve the moon.
iPods, MePods, Wii games, it's shameful.
They take everything we worked so hard for completely for granted.
I have no idea how they're going to learn the value of the dollar.
Or the value of a good marriage. You know, Bev and I learned the value of love through hardship and deprivation.
Starvation sometimes, right? We starve too, believe me. We love starving together.
We were poor, but we were happy.
Well, we were happy because we were poor.
Oh, that first house we lived in, huge gaping holes in the roof, it was awful.
You were lucky. Our first house didn't even have a roof.
Oh, filthy canvas tarp till it collapsed and nearly smothered your poor mother.
Well, we say it was a house. Actually, it was an old woodshed.
16 of us cramped in there and only half a floor.
And a big gaping hole, we had to lower the kids down on a rope to get to their beds.
Pile of filthy wood chips, more like it.
Well, you were lucky to have a woodshed. One winter we lived in a snow cave.
Oh, I'll never forget that. I lost all my toes to frostbite. I had to go with a candle. I used to dream of having candles. We went through one whole winter once with no light whatsoever. Then Dave lost his job at the mill, and we had nothing but bird droppings to eat till spring.
One day I was sitting down eating a snack, doing some math, when my calculator broke. I wondered, what happened? Thought it might have been the battery. Tried to get it working again. It didn't. So I took the battery out. It fell on the floor, and I had to look for it. So, I found it, and then I got some potatoes, a knife, some wires, and a flashlight bulb. I was going to make a potato battery. I chose to cut my potatoes in half because I can get more power out of them. And be careful when you're using knives. Always have adult supervision, as they are sharp. I'm sticking nails into my potatoes so that I can have ends like a battery to connect my wires to. These are galvanized nails. You must always use galvanized nails, no exceptions. I am cutting slits for my pennies, copper pennies. You must always use copper pennies. Again, no exceptions. You must always use copper pennies. If you don't, the anode and the cathode will not react with the electrolyte, which is the potato juice. I'm connecting wires from the anodes and cathodes to the batteries. All my wires are now connected. As you can see, there's no battery in my calculator, and it's not working. So, I'm going to connect my yellow one, which is my positive lead, to the positive battery terminal in my calculator. And voila, it works. I can do some simple math now. 7 times 7 equals 49.
I'm still wondering about Valeshire.
Too controversial.
Perhaps there's a lesson in there for us.
All right. Let's take a look.
Is it foul boredom that leadeth those guards of the law to pick upon us merry Sledders? My own dignity was harassed this Saturday past, for no reason whatsoever. It would seem some petty officer found offence in my stylish rig. That harbinger of fines and bad omens, tickets 3 he gave me. 3!
Mine is to enforce the laws of the land. In truth, justice is a difficult bride, but to her I am wed.
The first was for the routing of my brake lock cable. Second was for uncovered lights. It was daylight, and my lights weren't even on.
Citizens of Valeshire, it doth come to my attention that in this time of financial hardship, our small but well-tempered population did hear the woes of certain visitors.
The third ticket, my statue of Saint Bombardier. Apparently it hung too loosely from the mirror.
The law is clearly stated in the Magna Carta subsection Motor Vehicle Act.
I am outraged that our local establishment could not allow for the minor indiscretions of such important guests.
'Tis not a trivial burden on mine breast to see my neighbour shipped to the poorhouse, but the law of the land must not be transgressed. Transgressors, rich and poor alike, must be punished severely.
200 crowns, 8 and 40 shekels he fined me. What with the financial grace we lords of snow and mud bring upon Vilshire, our crowns and shekels hard-earned in the bowels of the kingdom of the wild roses, one would surmise they would let us alone of these trifles, but alas.
Why should these rogues absent themselves from the law? These knights of snow and mud seek shelter from our safety regulations, but I ask you, what's next? Immunity from sidewalk spitting? Drinking in the bathroom of the high school? To the slippery slope to open thievery and murder.
Nothing shall compel me to ride in Valeshire anymore. And none. I shall take my purse and my purse strings to the kingdom of Muktut. Or perhaps I'll journey to Goldenham or Revelshire. Perhaps those helmets have more modern views on the rights and privileges of noble riders.
How they cry when their steeds and sleds are stolen. Ask them, is it law or lawlessness they want? No, no, there can be no leniency. Every law must be obeyed. If the fine fits, wear it. Those noble lords who seek lawlessness, go elsewhere. We will earn our bread the honest way, through fines and tickets.
It is a true thing that I did consume some distempering draughts the eve afore, but 'twas many hours since my last cup of mead. Townsfolk, I ask you this. Is a wild rose not a rose by any other name? And if you pricketh us, will we not leave? I demand an apology to restore my dignity.
This knave in question, his wagon was wobbly and his lamps too bright. What if some babe were blinded or struck down by an axle come loose? Townsfolk would call for my head. I will not withhold the enforcement of our laws. In this land, safety is king.
As such, I declare this day Snowmobile Day, in honor of the goodwill of our most distinguished and valued guests who have traveled many leagues to grace us with their offerings. Sledders, we will restore you to your prestige.
That's it, folks. Come and see the Robson Valley Theatre Collective perform on Friday night.
Good night.
Good night.